Ah, there you are. Hello, my friend. Welcome to Voodoo Piano. My name's Dan Harville, and I'll be teaching you the piano. I say that, but actually what happens is you teach yourself. I just show you some tricks. I grew up in a musical family, actually two musical families. Both of my grandfathers were phenomenal violinists, and both could play the piano. They didn't show me the piano, though, or the violin for that matter. Thanks, guys. But the advantage of growing up in a musical family, all my cousins and uncles and play, the advantage is you realize pretty quickly that the people who do that are no smarter than you. But most are just people who just pick the thing up and just struggle with it and then just say it's not going to beat me. And they have somebody along the way who says, okay, here's the trick. Here's the secret. Man, I don't know if does it bother you? It sure bothers me to walk by for years, to walk by a piano and just look at it and go, that thing, I wish I could play that. You got music in your bones, you got music in your spirit and your heart and your mind, and you just want to play something. You want to play some music. And if somebody says, okay, look, this is what you do. This is why this works. This is why this doesn't. Do this, and do this. And sometimes they'll say, I don't know why this works, but it does. And that's where you start, and as you go along, I really do suggest there's two forms of learning the piano. Number one is what I'm doing, and that's just your buddy showing you stuff, okay? And then the other is taking from Mrs. Saccani down the road who's 87 years old and has a piano in her parlor. That's the classical learning, where someone says, this is the grand staff. These are the notes. This is how you hold your fingers. This is the pattern you play when you play an arpeggio or whatever. And then there's, like I said, there's me. He says, okay, do this, ding, do this, ding. And whenever you're doing this, think this in your head. That's where I'm starting you. And at some point, I think you ought to do both. I think you should take piano lessons, and I think you should take my courses, because I think together, like that, I'm happy to have you along. This is a wonderful journey. Let me tell you right now, there's always going to be somebody better than you, and there's always going to be somebody worse than you. Even, I'm sure, at the end of his life, Beethoven or Brahms or Schubert or any of those people, Elton John or Diana Krall, everybody wishes that they were better. Everybody can see the next step that they haven't reached yet. Everybody has a hurdle. It's just another brick in the wall, my friends. It's just another brick. All you got to do is just take one more step and you can do it. So please let me help you along this journey. This micro course is just going to introduce you a little bit to the keyboard, maybe clear up a couple of little mysteries for you. I'm glad to have you along. God bless.